I mean, still a pandemic.
I just like it because it's for my own safety.
Whether you like it or not, there are virtually no more mask mandates in British Columbia.
I think this COVID whole thing is getting more psychological.
I mean, if they mention that it's okay now, it should be okay.
But for some people with immunocompromised family members or existing health conditions or disabilities, dropping the order is a mistake.
It's really insulting, and also just completely ignoring immunocompromised community members.
Ria Chatterjee has 2 family members who are immunocompromised. The BC Centre for Disease Control says it's a top priority to treat people with disabilities and other vulnerable people ethically during the COVID-19 pandemic. But Chatterjee isn't convinced.
I was honestly really shocked and also really scared as well. Honestly, for me, it's just incredibly ableist.
Catching COVID for me would most likely be a pretty severe thing.
Simran Sarai says her blood cancer treatments over the years have made her more susceptible to lung infections.
I'm a cancer survivor, so I'm not even part of the group of immunocompromised people that are most at risk. I'm very fortunate, but I'm still at risk, and there's people that are immunocompromised and disabled that have way more risk than me. I think it reflects a greater culture that we have that's reflected in our policies, where we don't see the treatment of disabled and immunocompromised individuals being equal to the treatment of those that are healthy.
Masks will still be mandatory in some healthcare settings, on federally regulated transport like airplanes and trains, and at some businesses choosing to keep the rule in place. Health policy researcher Andrew Longhurst says this change in policy signals a shift from acknowledging people with different risks.
We are moving into a stage where we're not acknowledging the fact that we are creating preventable harm and much greater preventable risk among people who are immunocompromised, who are disabled, who live with chronic diseases.
He also thinks it's a mistake that the government is focusing on acute infections alone, when so much has yet to be learned about long COVID, which has had life-altering effects for thousands of Canadians.
I think at a population level, the concern here is we're going to end up with long-term implications, including long COVID.
Vaccine cards are still in place in the province, but those are expected to drop on April 8th. In Vancouver, Kier Junos, City News.